welcome to United View. Mate, honestly, the amount of transfers that's going to be coming through this month, next month, and the next month. When does it finish? September.
Yeah. September the 1st. Or is it like September the 2nd? Something like that.
No. So all of June, all of July, all of August. Nah, mate.
Yeah.
This next 3 months is going to be insane. And obviously it hasn't actually opened yet, but in terms of you know what's going to be coming through. So smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, get your breakfast, get your comments in, let us know how you're feeling, let us know where you're watching from. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about. We got I was going to say Declan Rice there, that's his mate. We got Mason Mount transfer demand from Chelsea, 70 million. They're demanding 70 million fee. So there's a bit of a standoff going on in terms of the fee. We're going to talk about Caicedo on United's wish list. There's interest there from Manchester United. Lavia, he loves the club. Lavia is admired by Manchester United, according to Fabrizio Romano. United monitoring Goretzka as well. Interesting one, that. And United step up Højlund interest as well with the 40 million price tag set. So a lot to get into, as always, Owen. But big up the people. Like I said, cross your T's, dot your I's, take off your shoes before you come in, get your likes in. What we got, Owen, straight off the bat, man? What we got?
Can I also just say shout out to Josh, because this isn't Panenka Studios. We've got to come up with a name for these studios. It's not Panenka Studios. It's something different. It's Transfer. I don't know. Center sounds rubbish. But something, there's been little changes, tweaks, and modifications. You'll see in the top right-hand corner of the screen as a live subscriber count as well. So now, if you click subscribe, you'll be able to see your subscription go in. There's also our socials. You can follow us at United View TV as well. Oh, it's beautiful here. Don't you like it, Flex?
I do.
It feels like home.
Someone said, Daniel Luciano, member of UV Crew, big up to you, says Garlic Bread Studios. Well, but I do like that though. As soon as you press subscribe, you literally see your subscribe, your subscribe,
the number
live.
Yeah,
exactly. So yes, always looking to make changes, always looking to up the quality and the content. But Owen, yeah, what we got, man?
Indeed, Mason Mount, the latest development in the Mason Mount. Do we say transfer saga? I hope not.
No, according to can't call it saga yet.
Not yet. We're in day 2. Fabrizio Romano says there is still no official bid from Manchester United for Mason Mount because United know Chelsea do not want to negotiate at the moment. Chelsea want £70 million at least, and United do not want to pay that amount. It's been further said that it's really £70 million or nothing. So my question to you, Flex, at 9:07 BST on a Tuesday, is it really £70 million thing? Are we going to get to the point where it gets to, like you said yesterday, 60, 55? And if we are in territory where it's £70 million or whatever, is that too much? No, I cannot hear you. Can't hear, can I? I can't hear you. Wow. You can hear me. But I don't think they can hear you, yeah? I can hear you. I can't hear you. Everyone's saying they can't hear you. It's you. It's not me. They blame me. Look at him. He's a disgrace. He's a cheat. He's doing it on purpose. I'll keep talking, yes, about Mason Mount whilst Flex figures out his flecknical difficulties, as they keep saying. We already got a super chat, actually, from Ahmad. Says, it seems people in the chat forgot how haggling works. Salah starts high, buyer starts low. I just don't want it to turn into haggling. That's my problem with Mason Mount. As the report said yesterday, didn't they, about how this is a transfer fee that Ten Hag wants to get done early. And I don't want Eric Ten Hag to fall into the same trap that other Manchester United managers have fallen into in the past, which is they start to have to deal with the incompetence of how to do transfers of the people above them. Obviously, previously it was different people above them. But at the same time, 70 million just feels way too much. And as we spoke about yesterday too, and spoke about a lot actually, this whole, the budget is 100 million. I mean, even 50 and 55 for Mason Mount is a huge amount of money. That's half of this transfer budget. 70 is a ridiculous amount for someone like a Mason Mount, isn't it, really? So I don't think that's a number that it ends up on. And Chelsea can say they don't want to negotiate at the moment, but that doesn't really matter if they don't want to negotiate at the moment. They're going to have to sell this player because he's decided he doesn't want to stay at Chelsea. He's decided that he wants to move on. Seemingly, clearly, he's got his heart set on a move to United, but I was weary as earlier on talking to Flex about calling this a saga, and it does feel very saga-ish already. I know it's 2 days, and I know that as Ahmad says about haggling, but eventually, I suppose too. Look, Chelsea have got to get rid of players. They spent an exorbitant, is that right? Absorbent, a lot of money they spent last summer. I mean, I think Flex agrees. He's doing his best mime impression at the moment. He's doing his best mime impression at the moment. But yeah, he's trying to spend a lot of money last summer. And clearly they're going to want to spend even more money this summer. They're going to want to spend, I mean, there's rumors about Osimhen. There's rumors about, well, they were going to get Ugarte. Was that thing true as well, actually? Was that thing true about prior to getting Ugarte, they were going to buy a stake in Sporting Lisbon to actually get that deal done? And then I saw a thing this morning saying that there was like a legal letter written to I think it might have been PSG or Sporting or something like that. Well, I heard a faint flack.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can they hear you now?
The viewers hear me now? The UV community, can you hear me now? He's back. Fleck back. They said no.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear you.
We can hear you. Yes, Fleck is back. Right. Yeah, okay. I'm back. Sorry, carry on, Owen. But I am back.
I don't know, Fleck. I was filling a lot of time. I'll ask the question. Again. That's my initial question.
It was a 70 million thing.
70 million. Is it landing on that?
No. Well, I was back.
You are back.
Oh, it's gone black on the screen. Oh, it's gone off now.
Because you're really far behind.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. It's too much. It's too much. I don't think we settle at that. I just think it's posturing. I think that's how you get to somewhere in the middle. That's how you get somewhere in the middle. 70 million, they say. Boom, right, 70 mil. That's what we ain't selling for nothing less than that. Man United, well, we ain't buying for more than 50. And then it's let's talk. And then it ends up with the 55 plus add-ons. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that.
Do you still think it settles on that though? Because this is my worry, and I said this a few days ago, and now I'm really worried about it when I see stuff like this from Romano, is that there seems to be quite a big distance apart here, doesn't there? In terms of the
20
fee.
million, yeah.
Like, it's a lot, really. United going, 50, which basically means we're willing to go up to 55, 60, like you say. Yeah. But Chelsea going, well, we value them at 80, 85, at least 70.
Well,
there's a big discrepancy there. And I understand the haggling, but that means that it's going to take a while to haggle to get to a middle point there, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't have time.
We don't. Luckily, we've started this one really early, like before it's even opened early. When does it start open? When's it open again?
June, is it 14th? I think it is. I think it's next week, maybe.
Right. Okay. So June 14th. Okay. So we're doing this, like when we started this Mason Mount thing, it would have been about 3 weeks before the actual window opens. So that's some time then. Then obviously in the first couple of weeks when it opens, some more time. If you're looking at tour, what's that, mid-July? About 18th of July, 19th of July. Well, yeah, for actual tour, there's game on the 12th of July. But in terms of the 18th or 19th, whenever that game is in Scotland, then the Americas is like the 20th onwards, isn't it? Something like that. So there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time for this Mason Mount situation. And that's me saying it cautiously, by the way, because I understand how quickly that time can go. And before you know it, it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it's a month. And then you're like, shit, we still ain't got him. Like, we've been talking about this for ages, or it feels like we've been talking about this for ages, but really there's been no progress. So I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you, Owen.
100%.
100%, Owen. But I still think there'll be a middle ground. That at the beginning of the transfer window, it's how business is done, isn't it? You say your maximum, or you say the higher end. If you're the seller, if you're the buyer, you say the lower end. I only really want to part with this. Well, we think it's that. Okay, well, we could stretch it to this. What about this? Could probably stretch to that plus add-ons. Like, that's just what happens in transfers, isn't it? Some are really quick and really easy. Like, you look at Liverpool, we're getting annoyed because we see the here we go from McAllister, and we're like, we knew that they kind of wanted McAllister a few weeks ago before the season even ended.
And there's a release clause, I think, as well.
It makes it easier if there's a release clause, then fair enough. I don't know if they've paid it or not, but it does make it easier if there's a release clause because you just go in and get the player. So maybe that's a bit out of context. But still, we have seen plenty of clubs do business quickly, sharp, acutely, and we don't do it. So I think we're always going to be in the worried phase more than the optimistic phase with our transfers because it's not in our DNA to do things quickly without people knowing, get it done. The Malacia one is probably the only one recently that's been like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, even when we got Christian Eriksen, and I know it's a free transfer, but like
it took a while.
It just like we got the. Remember last year? I think it was David Ornstein broke the Christian Eriksen one. He went, Christian Eriksen's going to United, and then for 2 weeks nothing happened.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh yeah, it's going to be announced later on today. Like this new way that things happen, transfers happen at United, is somewhat strange. It's not as we don't have as big of a sample size as we did under the Ed Woodward regime, right? Where things did get drawn out last year. Last year was an odd one, certainly, and I just hope we don't repeat that. My question to you then is you're saying, look, this is just part of the process, and I agree with that. You mentioned tour.
Yeah.
Will Mason Mount be a Manchester United player when the tour begins?
Owen, I don't know, man.
Well, these are the questions.
You can't ask.
I can ask that. So you're saying when's tour start? About 6 weeks ish.
Is it 6 weeks?
I mean, it's June the 6th now, so about 5-6 weeks ish. Is Mason Mount a Man United player? And then is he on the plane to the States?
I don't know. I'm gonna say yes. Yes, he will be a Manchester United player by then. Why not even get him completely? Let alone will he be on a plane to America?
I'm saying this is a deal where everyone's like, oh yeah, we wouldn't be surprised at this stage, even though there's a big distance between the fees. It would be surprising if it didn't happen, wouldn't it?
It would. But listen, we thought, mate, at this stage and more, thought was getting Cody Gakpo, mate. Yeah, so I've learned my lesson. I've learned, getting stung in the 7-0, running my mouth off before the game. Being on during November in Qatar, we're going to get Gakpo, January signing, 100% going to get him. It's all done. We're just waiting. Ruud van Nistelrooy's there. He's all sorted. We're getting him. Went Liverpool.
You just giving me really bad flashbacks. You know the amount of videos I did on Cody Gakpo around Christmas time last year?
Yeah. And why did you do that? Because every single man and his dog and all the reports were saying that will happen. Man United are front runners. They are leading the race. It's just about signing it off. Not in that exact words, but basically that. We're only just waiting for the window to actually open so we can do it.
And then do you remember the story as well with Louis van Gaal when he left his phone in the toilet and someone picked it up and it was cool.
Jesus,
and it said, but this one I didn't believe because it said cool, Manchester United. Who just has Manchester United saved and not the person's name from Manchester United? He's calling Louis about Cody. Oh, and then it didn't happen. And then Liverpool came in and he's good as well. He's good. Turns out Ten Hag does have an eye for talent, doesn't he? Oh.
Yeah, Cody Gakpo is good. So that's why where you're saying to me, is he going to be on the plane? Mate, the question should be, do you think he's going to be a Man United player by the end of the window? That's what we have to... I know that sounds like defeatist because look how early it is. Why are we talking about the end of the window? But that's how transfers work. We literally just got stung in January. So we can't come on here and be like, he's our player. No one else is in for him. We want him. I swear Liverpool just came out of the blue. Really? Like it wasn't really.
but
It wasn't for a large part. It wasn't a toss-up. It was just us.
But in this instance, it would be slightly different, wouldn't it? Because they've just bought their midfielder in Alexis McAllister. So if he did go to like Liverpool, that would be surprising, though. That would be surprising.
Yes, and there is Liverpool, but Liverpool are still in the market for more. They don't just need one.
No, but if Chelsea want 70, well, Liverpool are going to spend 70 on him now. That they've just spent like 40 or something like that on Alexis McAllister. By all accounts, they got a very good deal with his release clause. Yeah. But still, he'd be very surprised. So, and to be honest, I don't know of any club that would spend 70 on Mason Mount. There's lots interested, but there's ones that are interested, whether they're Liverpool, whether they're us, whether it's like a Newcastle or whether it was Arsenal or whoever. I don't think anyone would go, 70, we'll put it on the table. They'd all be like, no, he's got a year left.
Yeah.
Start off 50, 55. So United are right not to get bullied.
To continue this, we'll just get the super chats, and a lot of people have been talking about it as well. Ahmed says, it seems people in the chat forgot how haggling works. Seller starts high, buyer starts low. Then they just slowly do this, don't they, until they get to an agreement. Avi, it's his first super chat on the channel. Big up to Avi. Thank you. Thank you for the contribution, bro. Thank you. Lil Yo-Yo says, Fleck, for old times, are you part of the 90% club? No. Didn't Mark made that up, didn't he?
I think so.
I'm not sure
Sancho?
Which one.
I'm not sure which one. Might have been Sancho, yeah.
Was that United stand then? And Sancho, yeah.
I think Sancho the first time around.
Yeah, when we didn't get him. Yeah,
time.
That's it. Yeah, when we didn't get him, because then we signed him when United View had started. Didn't we? So I think that was Mark who did that. But yeah,
was that the first ever signing that when United View Sancho? It must have been.
Wasn't it the Ghost of Rafe the Phantom?
No, because Varane came after, didn't he? Varane was unveiled first day of the season.
Oh, yeah.
And Sancho was before that, wasn't it? It must be Sancho.
Yeah, it was Sancho. The first signing in UV history.
In the UV era. Yeah. Well, technically, actually, if you want to get really technical, the first signing in UV history is one KG, that comedian. Yeah? A new presenter as a kid.
Yeah. That's true. That was funny. And we got a super chat here from Ahmed. Ahmed says, hopefully what happened with Gakpo happens with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and we end up getting Sheikh Jassim. Yeah, well, in my opinion, not going to speak for everyone, but yes, 100%. Lil Yo-Yo in the chat, 90% for Mount Fleck. No, I'm not in it. That's not what we are on. How many likes have we got? We've got 117. We've got 1,100 people watching. Disgraces cheats. Please hit the like button if you can. That would be splendid if you lot could do that. And actually, big up to people watching from around the world. I forgot at the beginning of the show. I can't go back that far now. People were putting in where they're watching from, etc., etc. But yes, Mason Mount, closing statement, Owen.
Closing statement, as I do think this one still happens. I don't think it happens for 70. I agree with you. I don't think it happens for 50 or 55 either. I've got a feeling in my bones, deep in my bones, Fleck, this might be a 60. It's going to be a 60, I think. Yeah. But it might be 55 plus, as you mentioned, add-ons.
Yeah. I think we reach a figure over a period of time of 60.
Add-ons.
That's
going to be driven into the effing ground in the next few months, isn't it?
Add-ons central, mate. Add-ons city.
Add-ons.
Yeah.
Add-ons.
And did KG just make that up, or does Fabrizio actually say add-ons?
I don't know. Because
you don't know KG, do you?
You don't know KG because Richard does say hello guys, isn't he? I think. Hello guys.
Yeah, hello guys.
But I don't know.
Welcome to the channel.
But I don't know if KG's like he might have said it once, and that basically means he says it every time. Plus,
I'll ask him today. And Charlie H, big up. He's been a member for 1 month. Big up you, Charlie. Says Erik ten Hag needs to be back properly. If not, we will be running about after the scraps again and overpaying for players. Absolutely agree with that, Charlie. That is definitely true. Okay, moving on. Caicedo on United's wish list. Owen, what we got?
Yes, this comes from the Daily Mail saying that Moises Caicedo.
Yeah.
Caicedo is on Manchester United's wish list. Brighton want at least £80 million for the midfielder. Now, yesterday, Flex, there was a lot of, well, who do you want then? Because there was Declan Rice being tracked and lots of people saying, I want Caicedo. Well, your wish maybe is United's command because, according to the Mail, they're saying Caicedo is on the wish list. £80 million is that value for money?
£80 million for Caicedo?
Yes.
In what he means to Brighton and what these top centre midfielders are going for, whether it's Caicedo, whether it's Rice. Yes, but in reality, no, he's not. He's not worth that. But he's worth what Brighton say he is. You know, they're the selling club. He's the player in demand as well. It's not like he's not in demand, so it gives them power, it gives them leverage. And he wants to go as well. So there's a deal to be done. There is a deal to be done.
Yeah, I think
and if you're Brighton, you are...
They said there's like this informal agreement, isn't there? But I think between him and De Zerbi, like January,
stayed,
stick around, go in the summer.
Because let's not get it twisted here. He spoke out of turn. You know, he came straight out. I remember covering it on Sky, and it was like, this guy's out here doing interviews and putting out statements saying, I've had a great time here at Brighton. I would love to be the club's record signing, where they could use the money to go on to better things. The fans have been amazing. It's my dream. Not my dream to play for Arsenal or whatever, but it was like, I'm off. Let me go, please. Yeah. This is, you know. And De Zerbi went, no. No. Yeah. He's currently not training with the team while he clears his head, but he can't be saying that because he ain't going right now. So obviously they sat down. And to be fair to De Zerbi, he's got great man management skills because he put Trossard out, you know, and Trossard was one of their best players, if not the, at one point.
Yeah.
Amazing player. And the fact that where he's gone to is Arsenal shows how good he is. And De Zerbi went, no, it's not working. So there's something going on. See you later, mate. Caicedo, he wanted to, you know, rear his head, put statements out, handle it in the complete wrong way. You never speak about transfer. That's the complete wrong way. As a player, when you're under contract at a club, that is really disrespectful. And by that point, like I said, he'd only played about 24, 25 Premier League games. Like, who are you? Who are you? What have you done? What have you done?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that big time Charlie, like, I've made it, let me go. And I get it. Player's point of view, it's the dream. You're coming from nothing. Now you're something. You don't know when this move's are Arsenal going to come back for you at a higher price later on. The time is now, you know. But you have to conduct yourself in the right way, and that wasn't it. But De Zerbi calmed it down and not just got a tune out of him for the rest of the season. He was playing unbelievable. He was playing right back at games as well. So De Zerbi's a fantastic manager, man. But yeah, back to whether he's worth that. I would say no, but Brighton have every right for a player that's in demand and a player that wants to go, and the big clubs are in for him. Man United interested, obviously Arsenal. I think Chelsea, watch this space here. They're definitely interested. They're the big clubs with the big money. So why not try and put... And you know Declan Rice is going for 100 million. And I know Declan Rice has been doing it longer than Caicedo, but the argument is well, he's just as much impact on the game as him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If not more. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's about right for that type of player in this market.
And also as well, I think Brighton themselves would probably think they want to be careful because they qualified for the Europa League this season, Brighton.
Yeah.
And as is the case a lot of the time with when sort of smaller teams are successful, is those big teams, the vultures start circling, don't they? They start going after your big players. They just lost Alexis McAllister, and Brighton might be thinking, look, we're kind of resigned to losing Caicedo, but we're not going to do it without fighting. Yes, we've got this informal agreement that Caicedo is going to go, but we talk about Daniel Levy driving a hard bargain. So did Brighton. You know, 100%. Everyone has a price at that club, but at the same time, they get their money's worth. Look at what Cucurella went for. Yeah, they get their money's worth and then some. And they'll know that they've got to be going after players in the summer because some of their biggest and best players are going to go. As I mentioned, McAllister, Caicedo, maybe some others as well. So I agree with you. I think maybe in the market, he probably is 80 million. Yeah. They rejected, what was it, 70 from Arsenal in January? They rejected, was it 70? They rejected from Arsenal in January. So you could argue he's improved since then. He's got better since then as well. He had a better second half of the season. He's young as well. So I think you're probably paying for potential as well. He's only 21.
Can I say this as well? He's got a contract to 2027.
Yeah, he signed a 5-year deal, didn't he?
Like,
he signed a 5-year deal.
Yeah, because of the Arsenal thing, he signed a new deal. So again, that adds value, man. Like, this ain't a guy who's like the Mason Mount thing, and that's why Mason Mount isn't worth the 70. You know, he should be worth 40. He should be. You know, but this is what teams do, and this is what we're saying Man United need to do better at. Actually, you know, take the piss out of other teams, drive the price up. Everyone else does it to us, overinflated prices where we have to pay it. You know, he's got a contract to 2027. You're essentially buying a brand new player. Like, you're basically buying a player who's just got to the club, to this club, and you want to buy him. If you try to buy a player after they've been there for a year, Jesus, usually they're not for sale unless something bad's happened, or you have to pay a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, and that's probably Brighton's perspective on this as well. Like you said, is they go, realistically, like, we don't have to sell. We're not in any position where we need to let go of this player because, like you said, he's tied down for like 4 years. So we're not in any position we need to sell. Of course, everyone will have a price. And as you mentioned, there is some sort of an informal agreement whereby we kind of said, look, if the offer comes in the summer that we like, and to be honest, it's the summer as opposed to the January transfer window. So it's likely to be higher than 70 this time around. We'll let you go if that's right, but only if it's right. I don't think any club's going to be in a position to bully Brighton on this one. I think they'll get exactly what they want for him.
I'm just looking at that. Yeah, go on.
And like I said, I think, if you do get him, you're buying, and there's no mistaking he's good. So he's 21. You're getting a midfield player for what, the next decade, aren't you? Really?
Yeah.
So that's what you're paying for.
Everyone likes to use that phrase of like, they're going to stay with you for 10 years.
Yeah.
When really,
that's the aim. That's the aim, isn't it? That's the hope.
Yeah. That's if you invest into him and the team does what you want it to do, then yeah, exactly. And like you said, you forget how young he is, 21 years of age. And I'm just looking at the timeline of what Brighton have done. They got him, what is it, a 5 million loan they got him on first. And then the end of the loan happened in 21-22. They made it permanent in January of 22 for 4.5 million. 4.5 million, Owen. And that's what Man United were linked the same season, isn't it? Remember?
Yeah.
For cheap, and we didn't get him. And now look, now the kid's going to go for like 70 plus. It's insane. It's insane how Brighton keep doing this. And the piss take about it is his contract's to 2027, but it's got an option of 1 year as well.
Well, that's what I mean. There's no pressure on Brighton. I mean, the only pressure that will be from them is probably from the player and the agent side of like, you promised us and we want to leave and all this kind of stuff. And maybe he does another Instagram post or something like that. But in terms of their position, they're definitely in the position to say, our price is 80, you give us 80 or you don't get him. You know, this is just not going to happen. Unless, like you said, unless De Zerbi says, look, I'm not having this again, piss off sort of thing. Yeah, but exactly. I don't think they would do it because Trossard did have like a year left on his contract, I think.
Yeah,
so again, it's a bit different. Yeah. Exactly.
Evan Ferguson as well. Evan Ferguson had a trial at Manchester United Academy, but we rejected him. Says Al Mac. I don't know how true that is. I didn't know that. But in general, he's another one coming through. And Caicedo looks good. They just keep,
that and Caicedo, that and Caicedo, yeah, is something else as well. I know it's just because obviously he scored that goal against City, but they just like show up. They just show up at Brighton, don't they? And you go, he's good.
Yeah, it's like it's not even like, oh my god, they're the next world beater, but they just don't look at a place to just come into the Prem. You know how hard it is to just come into the Prem and be good. Do you know what I mean?
But you don't like hear a big deal about them when they're signing. So you don't hear like breaking news, Brighton have signed this player. No. It's very much under the radar. Yeah, this person's been signed, and then like 3 or 4 months later, you see something where it's like it's something where it says like, oh yeah, well, he's playing and he scores a worldie. You go, how long has he been at Brighton for? They go, oh yeah, a few months. They got him in the summer. Like, when? What happened then? Crazy stuff, Flex. Yeah?
It happens so quick. And then you're like, hang on a minute. How are you finding all these players? To the point where even the one where you said to me that Steele's old.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It's like 32, yeah.
Bro, I couldn't believe it. The way he was playing, I was like, who's this new young keeper smashing it up? She's just mad. It's honestly crazy what they've managed to do. So fair play to them. But be interesting to see what they do with the second season of expectation now. And being in the Europa League and losing these types of players as well.
That's the key thing, isn't it? It's they're losing their players. That's going to be really interesting. But I think De Zerbi, I saw someone in the chat put it earlier, and I think it's true. I think
his accolades.
If at any point Pep decides he's had enough at City, I think he might be the guy they look at, De Zerbi. I can see that working. I could see it working for him.
And City,
yeah,
he's the right football, technical.
He does. The only problem is he's absolutely batshit insane. That's the problem.
Yeah, but so is Pep.
Yeah, but not at that level. I mean, maybe the only difference between De Zerbi and Pep is Pep gets away with it more because he's Pep. I don't know. Because Pep does some mad stuff on the touchline as well. But De Zerbi, I mean, like, for instance, that whole thing he had with Stellini earlier on the season, because he said something he didn't like in a press conference, so the whole game, he went at him. And then Stellini got sent off for not controlling his management team. Was hilarious, considering it was all deserved. Just being crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. They got him for 11 million euros. They did. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's what they do.
Yeah. 11 million euros. And then brought him through this year. And he's only 19, is he? Mad.
And the only problem they're going to have now, Brighton, isn't it? It's just going to be the case of it's like every person next thing you get that's young. The next thing, I think they get next, you could be like, oh, he's the next big thing. And eventually they won't be. You remember for a period of time, like Southampton were like that?
Yes.
They went through signings, they went through, and they've got every single player they got. Oh, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. And people bought them. They kept bringing players in. They're like, how do they do it? They got relegated now. Yeah. So it isn't sustainable forever. That's the only concern, isn't it?
No, it's not. It isn't. And but I think you have to respect. We all respect what Brighton have done and how they're moving in the window. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're going to talk about another youngster who's doing really well, who could be snapped up by a big club. Lavia loves the club.
Yes, Romeo Lavia, according to the same article, is admired by Manchester United. Southampton are expected to demand between 40 and 50 million. Fleck.
See what I'm saying, mate? Put the big P's on these young players. You
say that though, people nowadays, 40 million in this transfer market for a young player. That's not
about
super,
right,
super
and they've just gone down. As well. They've just gone down. They need to recoup. And it's about right. And they're always going to ask for around now, aren't they?
Would you take Lavia at United? 19.
Yeah. It's one of them. I definitely would. It's one of them ones where, again, the player shouldn't cost 40 million, but for the team that's losing him, they say it. They say that's what the price is. Do you know what I mean?
When you just got relegated, and you know you're going to lose your best players. But not only that, your young players as well. Because if they were still in the Premier League, Lavia might not move this summer, and they might hold on to him for another season or a couple more seasons, and he would develop into maybe a £60 million player, something like that. But they're realizing, crap, we're in the Championship, we can't keep him. We've got to cash in because we've got to reinvest into the squad. It's going to have to be 40 million. So there is an argument to be made. You're getting a player, not necessarily under market value, but in a couple of years' time, you should be anyway, worth significantly more than that. And you're getting somewhat of a good deal there. And that kind of player profile is a player profile that certain United fans want United to do. That's sort of that younger player. We're talking about Caicedo, 21, Lavia, 19, sort of the future into the midfield, replacing. Because imagine you got rid of like Fred this summer, 29, and replaced him with Lavia, 19. Yeah. You've just rejuvenated your midfield in terms of age. Yeah. And if it does work out, like you say, it could be there for a long time. So that would be positive. I mean, I can't say that I watched a ton of Southampton this season, to be honest, Flex, because every time I watched their matches, I was bored to tears. And they played horrible stuff. Yeah, they did deserve to go down, honestly. But that's what United need to be doing in the transfer market, is being ruthless and seeing opportunities like this and saying, look, they've just gone down. Bang, get him. I do think he'll move to a Premier League club, but I'm not sure which one. Which one do you reckon he could go to?
I think it could be like maybe not the top end. It could be like Brighton if Caicedo goes. Something like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Those kind of moves.
Stay Everton, on the South Coast.
Yeah. Everton. Who else?
He wouldn't even go to Everton. Everton got no money.
Have they not?
Everton, they've got those
just keep
financial things. Financial things hanging over them, and they've got that new stadium.
Yeah, as well. True. Arsenal, I think, could take him 100%. Like, to bolster what they've got.
100%.
Yeah, exactly. Could Liverpool to bolster?
Well, I wouldn't be if you're getting Alexis McAllister for essentially the same range of money, according to reports.
He's a deep player, isn't he?
If they signed McAllister and Lavia, then you would say, well, they've rejuvenated their midfield. Yeah. So I do think it's a player that United should be in for, especially again if you're being priced out of moves to other players. Not that we should be penny pinching or anything like that, but if you're being priced out, he's not bad. And also, if Ten Hag wants multiple positions, double positions, as he says, if we got then Flex, if we ended up with a transfer window and our two midfield signings were Mason Mount and Lavia, how would you rate that out of 10 in terms of just midfield? It's not a 10.
7.
It's not a 10.
7.
And it's probably not a 9.
Yeah. I'd say 7. I'd say 7. If you get those two. Because Lavia is, you could say he's not ready yet, but he's played all the season in the Premier League. His next stage of development. This is how you get these type of players. You get them in.
But Ten Hag likes young players as well.
Yeah. So I would say that's a good.
Lots of people aren't agreeing with you, Flex. Lots of people aren't agreeing.
What are they saying? 5, 6.
Tank says 6. Director of Football says 4. C says 7. Dan says 5. Everybody hates Jaden. Says 5. Simon says 3.
What would you say?
I'd probably say a 6.
Okay, that's fair.
Out of that. They're maybe not the sort of sexiest signings, if you will.
Do they have to be?
No, they don't have to be. They don't have to be. I want my sexy signing to be my striker.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Look, I think everyone wants Lavia for a reason, so he must be good. Like we all want him, don't we? We all think he's young. Good. He's young, so he ticks that box. Why do we keep getting old players? Well, he's not that. He's young. He's up and coming, and he's good. A lot of people are not rating the Mount one though, which I don't know. I don't get that. I think he can play well. But you know, when we say let's get the next Caicedo or the next young this, that, and the other, well, that's Lavia. That is him.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That is him. So then what you're saying, you want an experienced one next with him as well then. You know, if our midfield options are Casemiro, Bruno, Mount, Lavia, and Eriksen.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But I think someone said good is not good enough.
It's not, you know, like last season, Frankie de Jong. It's not like
not,
that.
Oh, no,
you know
no,
what I mean?
No,
and it's not
world class.
Like, for instance, like Caicedo is better than Lavia at the moment. You know
and
what I mean?
Rice.
If your midfield options were like, you know, Mount and Caicedo, or your midfield signings were Mount and Caicedo, you go, good midfield sum of that is from United.
Well, the Lavia one is more like how we're trying to get a striker. If you get the Kane and the Højlund, or you know, if you get the Osimhen and that. So if we get the Rice and the Lavia, or the Caicedo and the Lavia plus the one, is probably what we want to do.
And people don't see Mount as the one, do they?
Exactly. People don't. I have to say, Ahmed. Ahmed has come through with $100 super chat. I don't even think we've ever had that before.
I'm not even sure. When the red came up a bit, I thought
I've never seen that. What does that mean?
I've never seen this.
What does that mean?
I thought something had broken again.
It means red alert. Ahmed, wow. What a contribution. Thank you for that. That is insane.
Round of applause in the chat.
Yes, round of applause in the chat. Can we get a round of applause? We really appreciate that. Obviously, no obligation to do so. Nobody has any obligation to have to do super chats, but to do one like that to support us and support the channel, we really, really appreciate that. That is insane. And actually, away from the record-breaking super chat, Ahmed says this. A bit off topic. I remembered in around 2006 when United football schools were opening in Abu Dhabi and other locations in the UAE, then disappeared faster than they appeared. I wonder if Abu Dhabi were trying to buy United and when rejected, bought City out of spite. I mean, they are. I mean, that side of the world over the last 10 years, with Qatar getting the bid in about 10 years ago for World Cup, with Qatar buying PSG. You've got Newcastle buying Saudi Arabia buying Newcastle. Obviously, the City deal happened. That side of the world really are trying to, get into football, really, aren't they? Look at the players that go to Saudi Arabia now. Benzema's going to go there. Messi, Ronaldo's already there. Like, it's insane. Yeah, Ronaldo.
They reckon
Saudi Arabia. He did go there.
Yeah, they reckon Sergio Ramos has got an offer to go to Saudi Arabia as well.
It's the new China, isn't it? When China were trying to do that and get players. I remember when Oscar went there really young. We was like, bloody hell.
I remember
why are you going there, Oscar? He's young. He's still good. I think he's still there.
It was phases, wasn't it? So like when Beckham went to the MLS, then suddenly there was like, you can go to the MLS and you can make loads of money and all this kind of stuff. So people started going to the MLS. Then, like you said, China decided we're going to get to football. I think they had this thing of like, we want to win the World Cup by 20 whatever it was. So they were like, we're bringing everyone into China, and then they changed the rules in their league about homegrown players. And like I said, now they want to make that Saudi league. As Ronaldo said in the interviews, he said, I think in what does he say? We're going to try and make it one of the top 5 leagues in the world. Whether or not they'll be able to do that, I don't know. But certainly they're trying to get exposure because, as you mentioned, they've got Ronaldo there, Messi, Pop maybe, or Ramos, Benzema. Like they're trying to get those big name players in. I don't know if they'll ever achieve it, but certainly there is a desire, like you said, in that region of the world to really compete, isn't there, with the big hitters in world football. So it's going to be interesting.
Interesting observation, that Ahmed. A very interesting observation. Before I carry on reading the rest of the super chats and we crack on with the rest of the topics, I have to say, guys, we are better than this. We got over 1,500 people watching, and we haven't even got 300 likes. So, I know you guys don't hate the show that much. I know you don't hate the channel. I know you don't hate us. I think it's just a matter of we just forgot to press it. If you are watching where it's very quick and easy just to press the like button, please do so. Let's get to 500 while we get into.
You know what deserves likes this morning? What deserves likes this morning is Josh's effort. That deserves likes this morning. It's a beautiful new Garlic Bread Studios. It's not feeling that name.
GB
the
Studios
are there. Yeah, GB Studios. Well, you don't really want to say that actually.
No.
GB News. Yeah. But yeah, it even says on the screen, like and subscribe. Just follow the instructions. Yeah, it's prompted. Yes. Like and subscribe. There you go.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. All Elite says, why can't we get the next Caicedo? 4 million. Ouch. Yeah, exactly. To get that for 4 million is insane. Avi says, I would break the bank for Caicedo. It's a bargain at 80 million. 80 million bargain. Shahil says he's been a member for 11 months as well, by the way. Big up to you, Shahil. Says, big up everyone at UV. Can't believe it's been 11 months already. Guys, I'm the only one nervous with the ownership and the so-called transfer budget. Oh, sorry. Am I the only one nervous? No, you are not. You are not the only one. I think everyone would join you in that nervousness. Well, not everyone, because WJ Barrett will be like, keep calm. I'm telling you, Qatar's coming. So not everyone.
And people that are members for 12 months, I think next month you're going to get your gold badges, the gold UV badges. And a new episode of Raw, I believe, is coming out possibly today or tomorrow, isn't it, Josh? In the ear, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Love that.
No message in the ear.
Yeah, no message in the ear.
Oh,
Today. Last couple of stories. United monitoring Leon Goretzka.
Yes, this comes from reports from Germany, specifically Florent Plettenberg, is saying that Manchester United are monitoring Leon Goretzka's situation. They are aware that his future is uncertain, but there are no concrete talks or negotiations yet. Goretzka definitely wants to stay at Bayern Munich. Well, if he wants to stay at Bayern Munich, then he can stay there, in my opinion, Flex.
Bloody hell. What do you think, Owen? What do you reckon?
Well, no, just, look, he's 28. He's all right, but here's one. Is there a massive difference between him and like a Sabitzer? Really?
Probably not.
Really?
Probably not.
If we end up...
He doesn't interest me. He never really has.
At the end of this transfer window, we're talking about, would Mount and Lavia. If we imagine we got Mount and Goretzka, you'd be like, fuck, what's going on here? And Bayern Munich as well, our team, despite winning the Bundesliga, there's somewhat of a revolution going on at Bayern at the moment, isn't there? Because they've clearly decided what they've been doing hasn't been working. They've got rid of Oliver Kahn and his right-hand men and all that kind of stuff. There was discussion about Thomas Tuchel, whether he was going to stay or not. You saw him play against Man City this season in the Champions League, and I know anyone can get destroyed by Man City. We did, but Bayern Munich are not the Bayern Munich of a few years ago when they won the Champions League. They are way off it, and that a lot of those players clearly have come to the end of their cycle, and maybe Goretzka's one of them. So I just massive. I wish I had the thing. Maybe I'll do it in a second. Red flags. How about this one? Yeah, massive red flags. What do you say?
Yeah, nah, not for me. Not for me. Next. I think it's a bit underwhelming. It's players coming out of that situation at Bayern. Like you said, it's not really going right, and it just feels a bit castaway-ish, a bit cast off. Just it's a bit surish. And I'm not saying they're the exact type of player, but I mean in terms of the impact and just I just can't see it. I'll be really shocked and surprised if we got Goretzka. He's been one of them players that I've never. It's weird with him. Like when I've seen him, I've never been wowed by him. I've never thought he was shit, but I've just never been like, I'd love him one day. Like I don't know, he just doesn't give me that vibe.
I went Goretzka.
Oh. Red flag.
Okay.
Here's one for you, just quickly on Bayern Munich before we move on. Would you take Mané? If he was available and there was like a short-term thing of 2-year deal, would you take Sadio Mané?
Sadio Mané, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
You are on crack.
Okay. So you're saying that Wout Weghorst is better than Sadio Mane?
Sadio Mane is not coming to Manchester United, Flack, yeah? And if you believe that Sadio Mane is coming to Manchester United...
You are on crack!
That wasn't the question I asked you, though. I didn't ask you, do you think he's coming? I didn't say, do you think he will come? I said, would you take him? That's what I asked you. Now you can try and dodge this and look for new sounds and all this.
No, I'm not. It's very difficult to do this.
I think you need a soundboard. Owen needs a soundboard.
Very difficult. Would I take him? I mean, if it was prime Mane, I would say
100%. 100%.
Right now, because Mane. Oh, why am I just going through these sounds? What am I doing? Mane. When he was at Liverpool,
He was special.
But right now,
is he washed? Is Mane washed, or did he just have a bad season and punched up Sane?
Look, he left Liverpool, and they weren't the same. No. They weren't the same without him. They missed him. But in his last season, was he good at Liverpool?
Not his sparkling best, no.
But then they nearly quadruple, didn't they? While he was there.
Exactly.
So no, you know what it is? I just feel like we need to get away from that, don't we? They were good at another club, and he's in his 30s, I think, isn't he? Yeah. No, I'd say no. And I don't think he'd do it.
No, neither do I. Just thought I'd ask you just because we was talking about Bayern. And really quickly, United step up Hoyland interest with the 40 million price set.
Yes, so this one's coming from the likes of the Mirror. I know TalkSport are going with it today, saying that Manchester United is stepping up their interest in Atalanta's Rasmus Højlund. He is quickly emerging as a leading candidate and is available for around 40 million. We were talking about this yesterday with the full view with Højlund. Obviously, I want Rasmus Højlund. I'm happy with that signing. But my worry and concern with this one is I just have this fear in my mind that we get to the end of the window and we go, oh, what striker did we get? We got Højlund. And you go, ain't enough. That is not enough. That is way too much pressure to put on this guy. He's 20 and he's got like 9 goals, maybe 10 goals in Serie A this season. Yeah. Season before that, I think it was like 10 goals and he was at a couple of other clubs, like 10 goals, 15 goals, something like that. But still, he's 20. This is Man United. And we're talking about, needing that striker that's going to deliver 20 plus goals in a season. And we have seen, haven't we, that when we say, we need a striker, it's not just a case of let's just put anyone in there. No, we need the striker. We can't, it's just not, you can't just put in I'm not saying Højlund's about Weghorst, but we've proven that it's not just having a guy up front that we need. We need a guy with quality that can put the ball in the back of the net. And Højlund might be that guy in the future. And that's why I would want him. I would still want him because we need multiple strikers, double positions, as Eric says. And Martial, who knows when he'll come back, if he ever comes back or anything like that. But I want Højlund plus, I don't know if it's going to be Kane. Højlund plus Gonzalo Ramos. Højlund plus
Kane, yeah.
whoever it may be. He on his own is not enough. But I still do want to sign him. And that is a deal. Look, we're talking about being done quickly. 40 million. Clearly, he's a United fan. I think he said that in January. So that could be one. Is he going to be on the tour, Flex? Højlund?
No. I said no.
No one's on the tour.
I'm just going to say no. I'm just going to be pessimistic until I see something different. Do you know what I mean? I agree with everything you say. That he can't just be the one. And now, like we was talking about on the full view, it's like now Kane seems like it's untenable, or unattainable, if you want to say that. Well, it might not be completely dead and buried, but I don't know. With Madrid knocking on the door, I mean, I'm convinced he won't go, but of course, there's a big chance he will. Of course, there is. Like you said, when you paint that picture of you can be this, you can win that. Maybe it will tempt Harry Kane to go, do you know what, man? It's once in a lifetime. You only get one career. I have to go. I have to go. Maybe it will. I don't know. But I don't know. It's seeming less and less likely that he comes to us is what my main point is.
You think he's going to go around? Do you think he's going to go Real Madrid?
Nah, I still think he'll stay at Spurs.
You don't want to renege on your bet?
Nah, I wouldn't do that. We've shook hands on it. Like, the bet is the bet. You don't get to shake hands on a bet and then next day go, about that bet, I want to change it.
There's footage. There's footage.
Yeah. And I'm not that guy. I wouldn't do that. That's it's the unwritten rules. If you make a bet, even if it's a sportsman's bet, whatever, You stick by it. You don't get to go, oh, I saw some news yesterday that maybe changed my mind. No, that's not how it works.
Thing is, though, Flex, yeah, he's going to Real Madrid.
So you're saying definite. You're saying 100%.
He's going. Harry Kane will be a Real Madrid player by the end of this summer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if he does, I will have to pay you £10. Yeah, I don't know. Back to the Højlund. I'm like, well, if he's the only one, we're in trouble because is Martial going to leave this year? I know everyone's saying we should cash in and we should get rid of him. Is he gonna go?
My fear is no.
Or does it depend on who he gets? Because if we only get Rasmus Højlund, Ten Hag will probably will be forced to, because of the Glazers and Sir Jim or whatever the hell's going on with the club, and budget-wise, we'll be forced to spend this 40 million on Højlund and go, it's not really much more left to swap stuff. We're not selling Martial. No one's even really come in for him. Try and put his injury troubles behind him. I'm forced to do that. And that would be a catastrophe. I'm not going to say it makes us weaker than last year because, we had Wout Weghorst coming in, so is Højlund better than Weghorst? You'd think so. But in terms of where we want to be, it's still pretty much the same. We've got a striker who can't stay fit and a young kid who's unproven. That's shit. And that's no disrespect to Højlund. Like, he's looked really exciting and maybe he comes in and does an absolute madness, scores 20 goals in the Prem. Very unlikely, though. Very unlikely coming into a new league from Atalanta. Come on, man.
My worry with Martial, and I mentioned this as soon as he got injured, when they're saying it's like was it partially torn hamstring or something like that, a muscle tear with his hamstring. That just in time for the summer transfer window. And I'm not saying he got injured on purpose or anything like that, but I'm saying like my worry with that was obviously not being available for the FA Cup final, but two, like that means it's unlikely he goes anywhere in the summer because you've now got, all of these clubs.
Who wants him? Who wants a player that unfit?
That unfit, injury record this season, who's actually currently injured as well.
Exactly.
And he's on a big contract. All of these clubs would be like, why would I come in for him? No.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
And if they do, let's face it, with the injury record, we'll take him on loan. See how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't trust him. I can't trust him. With
like Eric Bailly. Yeah. Eric Bailly this season. It'll be a bit like that, wouldn't it? Going when Marseille go, we're not going to buy him. Of course we're not going to buy him. We'll take him on loan.
And then work out. His contract ends next year. So then he just runs it down. And then we're in a position where Martial's going to walk out for free. After we bought him for 50 million down the drain, Ballon d'Or clause, extended during that period as well, under Ollie. Wanted him to keep going. Was it under Ollie he signed that extension or was it Jose? Can't remember when he signed that extension. June 30th. Yeah, so it extends it goes to June next year. Let's face it, he's not going to get an extension from us. So that means that if he's still at the club, Martial's clock is just ticking down. And who's going to take him? Who's going to take Martial?
I think
he's going to leave for free.
I think Eric's had it with him, to be honest. I think I think there were a couple of times this season where we thought he was going to be available for big games and then he wasn't. And then I think the FA Cup might have been the final straw when it came to Ten Hag, where he was like, no, not again, like for a big game. And I'm not saying if Martial played Saturday, it would have been different, but as Ten Hag said in all of these press conferences, he said we do play better when he's on the pitch because guess what? He's a striker and we don't have any other strikers. So of course we play better when he's there, but he's never there. I mean, he went through an entire season of football, multiple competitions, Fleck. We were in 4 of them. How many competitions were we in? Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, and he didn't play 90 minutes. How is that possible as a professional footballer, an elite athlete?
Well, obviously, his body's breaking down now. I mean, because for him, he's probably thinking, what's happened to me? Yeah. It's quite sad, really. I know
multiple times this season, he's come on as a sub and then missed like 2 or 3 weeks or months.
There's not being able to fulfill your potential, because you're playing, but you just haven't hit the spark. You haven't been that Ballon d'Or guy that everyone thought, and you haven't hit the heights. Then there's your body's just breaking down and you don't know why. What's happening? Why is he getting all these injuries? I'm not saying he's faking it. I'm not saying it's his fault. No. We're just saying that's what it is. And we have to be ruthless. We can't have that. No. We have to sort it. So there you go. Smash the like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Make sure you check out the tactical view from yesterday with myself and Cam, the breakdown from the FA Cup final, if you could bear to watch it for the pain. But actually, it was quite positive, actually, considering it was a negative result.
Yeah.
And today, FIFA flexing KG in about an hour and a half, which I'm going to have to rush straight away to make. And flexing KG show tonight at 6 p.m. as well. So a lot coming on as well. Yep. And we'll get some of the super chats, not some, the rest of the super chats read out. And Blue Abadi says, if you would rather have Mount than Goretzka, then you're more than of a crackhead than KG. He obviously rates Goretzka very highly and better than Mason Mount. And Ed says, Tony got a promotion. He's now the new Phil Jones. And members chats.
I think that's it.
I think that's it. We're good. Yeah, we are good. Okay, guys, smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And we will see you again very, very soon in about an hour and a half or so. Peace.